Ges i croeso cynnes i chi gyd yma I fenyw Cymru bore yma. Mae'n hyfryd gweld cyn gymaint ohonoch chi yma wedi troi allan I drydydd Cynhadledd GwE ar addysgu a dysgu, gyda'r pwyslais heddiw ar wthio y Ffiniau. Dwi'n hyderus bod gyda ni arlwy hynod o gyfeithog o'ch blaenau chi. Mae gyda ni 3 siaradwyr gwadd arbennig, a dwi'n siŵr fydden ni'n dysgu ac yn elwa llawer wrth wrando ar eu profiadau nhw, a dwi'n siŵr fydden ni'n ysgoti ni I feddwl llawer iawn am addysgu a dysgu yn ystod y dydd.
How do we get the kids from here to there? And this comes from work in the behaviour setting. So I'm just going to do something with you very quickly that I did with the children. I did with the staff actually, and then it happened with the kids. I'm going to protect you into the study of this really difficult piece of curriculum I've got in my fist. And to do that, we're going to imagine we've just got some sheets of paper around the room, and we're going to write about things that we know about. Colleagues, back to George. How do we hook our children in? How do you help your kids make connections between what they're doing at their desk and the world out there? Yes, we're preparing them for exams. Yes, they've got to. We want them to be successful in tests. But what else are we doing? Because that's not all that school is for. What's the pedagogy? What are the drivers underneath what we're doing? When you go and watch a teacher teach, what are you seeing? Do you talk about the pedagogy? How do we get kids to own what they're doing? Those kids talking about lions and Kenya and safari parks.
Find a solution to. This is something we have to find a way to move away from. We have to shift the culture in our schools. And here's one of the really important things about cultural transformation. It doesn't happen quickly. It can't. There is no shortcut. You can't transform the way people think and behave in a couple of days or a couple of weeks just because you tell them. You know, the crass errors a few years ago when we started talking that creativity was the big thing in our schools. So one of the really interesting challenges I think we face is one of those instincts which is we've got to, because we're under pressure to do it yesterday, is to step back and say if we want to get to a culture of innovation, of constant change, of action research-based development in our schools, then the step before that is to say, right, what is our capacity now? And what professional development do we need to put in place to create the culture for that to happen? You see, the problem with the silver bullets is we just keep firing them, usually at audiences that have no context to understand it, own it, develop it.
What you're doing with starting with the little circles and things is you're warming up the brain. You're also proving to them there are no rights or wrongs in these exercises. And let me just share with you, how long have we got? 10 minutes. Let me share with you a thinking skills strategy I've been using with children around the world. And to see how, whether some of you have used it already, how you might build on it, how it sort of feeds into having the sorts of children that the Donaldson report says that you want. They're creative, they're confident, they're forward-looking, they're ready for whatever the world might throw them, they're ethical, they're international citizens.
Dwi'n hefyd yn hynod o ddiolchgar I ysgolion rheini sydd wedi rhoi ei amser I baratoi gweithdai. O'n i'n edrych ar y rhaglen neithiwr. A mi oedd ychydig bach yn dweud fel edrych ar fwydlen mewn gwesty Michelin. Ddim bod fi'n gallu fforddio am gwesty Michelin, ond pan chi'n edrych ar y rhaglen, mae'r rhaglen gyfoethog iawn, a fi'n hoffi darn o hwnne, darn o hwnne, a darn o hwnne. Mae'n gymaint o weithdai yn ystod y dydd, yn un hynod o falch o fod yn rhan ohonyn nhw ac a gwrando ar yr athrawon, a'r prif athrawon, ac elwa o'r profiad sydd yn dod allan o'r gweithdai.
One. Why virtually no body language? Why? Quickly. It's distracting. When I'm running around, I'm telling subject or story. Here, I am utterly unimportant. The instructions are important.
A dyna pa mae'r gair anelwig yna eto, achos dyn nhw'n siŵr iawn eto I lle mae'r testunau yma yn mynd, a sut fydd plant yn darllen mewn amser. Ac da ni'n meddwl o hyd ynglyn â'r llenyddiaeth, a ti'n sôn yn barod am y gair, a bod yn dod â'r testunau yn fyw, ynde. A wedyn un o'r apur yn ddefnyddio I ddod â'r testunau yma'n fyw ydy ThingLink. A mae Jen eto...
We looked at 3 main questions. What do our children need? What requirements do we need to meet, because obviously they also need to be in our mind, and how can we bridge the gap between these and making the most, getting the most from our children?
Dwi eisiau gofyn cwestiwn i chi. Dwi'n gofyn cwestiwn heddiw. Gofyn cwestiwn mewn 3 mis lawr y lein ydy, be ydych chi wedi gymeryd allan o'r gynhadledd heddiw sydd wedi effeithio eich gwaith chi fel addysgwyr yn y dosbarth, ond yn bwysicach, sut mae hynny wedi effeithio plant a bobl ifanc ydych chi'n ei ddysgu o ddydd i ddydd, a sut ydych chi'n mynd ati i fesur y gwahaniaeth mae heddiw wedi gwneud i chi ag i'r plant a bobl ifanc?
Yeah, it's great to get outside of the classroom, listen to people with different perspectives, inspiring stories, and capturing a vision of where we should be now and where we're trying to take our children in the future. And it's very varied input really, and it's then having time afterwards to contemplate which bits of it are relevant to our own situations, I think.
Cynhadledd buddiol dros ben. Mae yna siaradwyr gwadd wedi bod yma sydd yn ysbrydoli ni yn bendant y 3 ohonyn nhw. A wedyn yr ysgolion wedyn sydd wedi bod yn rhannu gyda ni i'w arferion da nhw, gwerthchweil eto bob un nhw. Mae'n buddiol iawn dros ben.
We've heard a lot of theory, I suppose, about what we should be doing, and obviously I think it's important that something like this, where we've got all the heads in the room at once and GwE in the room, that we probably make group decisions in the future about how that applies to our region, really. One of the examples I heard, sort of Bryn Diva, that I know nothing about, and I went in the middle of that, unfortunately, talk, but they were talking about being 4th quarter, but they've made a dragon boat, and I guess that's what we're talking about.
Heb mod eisiau tynnu sylw dros un siaradwr neu un ysgol dros y llall, mae yna ddisgyblion wedi bod yma heddiw yma o un ysgol. A ia, fel oedd yr athro'n dweud, proof of the pudding, lle. Y disgyblion hynny, y ffordd ar nhw argoeli ni gwerthodd i ysgol nhw, a sut mae gwaith da'r ysgol yna wedi'w elwa nhw. Yn sicr dyna beth dwi'n mynd yn ôl efo fi, dyna dwi isio i'n disgyblion i acwn yr ysgol.
Mae'r cyfrifoldeb arna chi yn un sylweddol. Dwi'n hyderus iawn bod chi'n gallu gwneud o, a bod plant a bobl ifanc Gogledd Cymru yn ddiogel yn eich dwylo chi.